On June 24, 2015, the auction house Künker is going to sell a small series of gold coins coming from Hungary, from a region known to the experts in the genre of horror fiction as the home of Count Dracula. At the end of the 19th century, Bram Stoker described Transylvania as the wildest and least known part of Europe. It had been different at the beginning of early modern times. Then, Transylvania was in the spotlight. There, the empires of the Habsburgs and the Ottomans fought against each other. Some princes in Transylvania managed to take advantage of that conflict to assert free exercise of religion in their territories. Louis II was only 2 years old when he was crowned King of Hungary. This coin was struck on the occasion of his coronation, and it shows a toddler, indeed. That this was a very special child is evidenced both by the crown placed on Louis's head and by the inscription Coronatus, the crowned one. He is dressed in the Hungarian coronation mantle, a loose tunic-like cloak which the wife of the first Hungarian king, Stephen, is said to have sewn and embroidered with her own hands. Responsible for this coronation was Ladislaus II, King of Bohemia, Hungary, and Croatia. He died in 1516. His little son thus became heir to a huge territory, which the Habsburg had casted a covetous eye on. That was why Maximilian I married his granddaughter Mary to him. And when Louis II was killed in the Battle of Mohacs as a mere 20-year-old, the victorious Turks divided his rich inheritance between themselves and the Habsburgs. There was one person who resisted the Habsburgs, John Zápolyi. He rendered homage to Suleiman the Magnificent, Sultan of the Ottoman Empire. And when Zápolyi died, Suleiman made his son, who was only a few days old, King of Hungary. He was called John II Sigismund. The mother of the baby assumed regency. Isabella was the daughter of Bona Sforza. The coins of Transylvania thus exhibit the coat of arms of the city of Milan. In the first field, we see the wolf of the Zápolyi family, the Hungarian cross, and the Hungarian stripes. In the second field, we see the Polish eagle. In the third field, the Milanese snake. And in the fourth field, the Dalmatian panther heads. John II Sigismund, protected by the Turks, reigned until 1571. He called himself King of Hungary, just as Ferdinand I of Habsburg. It comes as no surprise that this triggered a war. Ferdinand attempted to conquer all of Hungary. Ottoman troops forced his army to retreat. Suleiman used the opportunity to found an Ottoman province in Hungary with Buda as its capital city. The following war was even more vicious. It was dog eat dog. The front lines became blurred. It was as late as 1570 that the war came to an end when John II Sigismund signed the Treaty of Speyer with the Habsburgs. It divided the country. From then on, it was always a member of the Habsburg family who became Hungarian king, while John Sigismund ruled a part of the country as Prince of Transylvania. John Sigismund was followed up by the Bathory family. Their coat of arms can be seen on the obverse of this coin in the weight of 10 ducats, dating from 1577. It shows 3 teeth of a wolf. On the reverse we read, Virtus unita valet. Virtue is powerful when united. These words were to become the Christians' appeal to the Hungarian nobility. The intellectuals in the German Empire demanded a joint approach, as this seemed to be the only chance to get rid of the Turks. And indeed, in 1588, under Sigismund Bathory, whose portrait we see on this coin, a war began that was to go down in history as the Long Turkish War. The army of the Habsburgs managed to expel the Turks from Hungary. What happened next was a disaster for the people of Transylvania. Giorgio Basta, general of the Habsburgs, tried to dragoon the Lutherans and Calvinists into returning to the Catholic faith. Hunger and pestilence did one last thing. There was a growing despair everywhere, and the hard-pressed country rebelled against the Habsburg oppressors. The Calvinist Stephen Bocskai became leader of the rebels. How he assessed the political situation is illustrated by his coin in the weight of 10 ducats from 1605. Dulce est pro patria mori. It is sweet to die for your country. The line from the Roman poet Horace complements a motto written on a ribbon that coils itself round a brandished sword. The motto reads, Pro Deo et Patria, for God and country. Bocskay actually not only achieved peace with the Habsburgs, but successfully negotiated a treaty between Sultan Ahmed I and Emperor Rudolf II. It granted the Prince of Transylvania domestic independence that was guaranteed both by Habsburg and by the Turks. The country flourished under its new ruler, Gabriel Bethlen. On this coin you are seeing him. He proudly calls himself, by the grace of God, Apostolic King of Hungary, Dalmatia, Croatia, and Slavonia. George II Rákóczi represents the golden era of Transylvania. Protected by the Ottoman Empire, the Lutheran and Calvinist elite came there, having been expelled from their home by the 30 Years' War. All religions were welcomed in Rákóczi's empire, where they could live in peace. Just a few years after this magnificent coin in the weight of 10 ducats had been struck in Nagybanya, however, the peace was broken. Against the strict order of the Sultan, Rákóczi had started to conquer parts of Poland. The campaign turned out to be a disaster, and an Ottoman army executed the punishment for this disobedience. Rákóczi died in the fight against the Ottomans. John Khomeini, his successor who is shown on this coin, suffered the same fate. The Turks had their own candidate ascend the throne. His name was Michael Apafi. We encounter him on this coin wearing the characteristic headgear of the Transylvanian ruler, a precious fur cap. In his right hand he holds a long scepter. His armor is richly decorated, being lavishly chased. Apafi remained faithful to the Ottomans until 1683, when the Turkish army had to accept a crushing defeat at the gates of Vienna. Apafi found his way to deal with this new situation. He entered a contract with the Habsburgs, which, however, could guarantee his country's autonomy only for a short period of time. It was already his son who was forced to cede his empire to them. As Grand Principality of Transylvania, it became part of the Habsburg hereditary lands. So, let us conclude this little film with this Reichsstaller of Charles VI from 1715, on which the Archduke of Austria proudly refers to himself as Prince of Transylvania. We, the auction house Künker, would like to invite you to our June auction sale 2015. If we have sparked your interest with this film, we cordially invite you to join us at our auction sale 263 and 264 from June 23rd to 25th. Please do not hesitate to contact us should you have any further questions.